Let's get into the science. So lots of people are going, flooring, really seriously, give me the drugs, give me the supplements, give me the surgeries, give me everything else. I don't really understand why this is so important. So I think the first part is us talking about what happens in the arthritic dog. Now, I said to Mel before we went live, oh my God, I wish we could tackle the healthy dog, but it's not tonight. We're going to leave that for another occasion because there's even less evidence about that. What we're going to do tonight is talk about what happens to the peripheral limbs, to the limbs of a dog that has got arthritic joints, so that you can start to understand the importance of modifying the environment. So do you want to take it away, Mel, like the process of what happens?
Okay. So I think what we know is that obviously arthritis is a disease that affects primarily the joints, and then following that you get secondary changes. So the things that we're all aware of, I think, as CAM follow is that you get a reduction in the range of movement that the joint will move through. You can get muscle weakness, and that's particularly in certain groups of muscles. And I think at some point it might be worth talking about our anti-gravity muscles, because they're particularly important when you're looking at slips. You get reduction in proprioception. Now, proprioception is the ability to know where your limb is in space without having to look at it. So if you shut your eyes, put your arm in the air, you can tell where your arm is in relation to the rest of your body without actually looking at it. And that's because we've got little sensors in our muscles and our joints and our tendons and our skin that all send feedback to us. And because of the effects of the arthritis, that information is finds it more difficult to get through. And then the other effects of arthritis, such as pain and guarding, which make us or an animal more careful in the way they would use their body, or perhaps a little bit more asymmetric or unbalanced.
Yeah, definitely. The best description regarding proprioception I've heard was from a lady called Danielle, who used to help out at CAM. And she talks about it being a pixelated message. So when tissue is healthy and everything's working, I can tell that my finger is above my head because I've got really good muscle mass, I've got good tendons, I've got nice flexible joint capsules, everything's sending a lovely, beautiful picture like an HD TV. But as you use that limb less because it's painful or uncomfortable, then you get the tissue wastage, you lose some of these receptors, so you lose some of that picture. So you get a pixelated image, as if you're watching a really bad TV screen. So you think that that is above your head. And that's one of the big things, guys, is that these dogs will go to place a foot where they think it's a very stable position. Everything says this should be safe, but it might be 1 inch inwards or 1 inch out sideways. And that's just enough to teeter the balance. That's enough to allow them to slip. When they transfer the weight onto that limb, it slips away. So what people have to remember, it's not just about the pain within the joints. We all focus on joints, but we tend to forget all of the secondary effects that arthritis will have, which Mel said, the restricted range of motion of that joint. It starts having less range of motion. It becomes stiff and painful. And that's sort of worth mentioning, isn't it, Mel? That those little slips, they might be little to a healthy person, but to somebody that's already got pain, they can be crippling, can't they?